They want the war to continue. They are deceiving their voters by saying that Russia can be defeated. This is a grave deception. They apparently refuse to acknowledge the realities on the ground. The only thing I would say in this context is that Donbas is territory of the Russian Federation. These are constituent entities of the Russian Federation. That is the only immediate remark I would like to make. And it is unlikely that any third party could administer regions of the Russian Federation.
We will not let them take the initiative or deceive Europe and the whole world into thinking that we should simply give up the Donbas and everything will be over quickly. Russia is constantly postponing the dates when they are about to and certain to take the whole of Donetsk region. It will continue to do so. Ukraine is different and will not give up what is hers. We are not asking to fight for us. Give Ukraine everything it needs to stop this war, to stop it before Putin has time to launch the next one.
Today, media reports emerged that a U.S. Air Force military transport aircraft had landed at Vnukovo Airport. Could the Kremlin comment on this or perhaps disclose details of a new visit? Thank you.
No, I do not have that information.
Is a meeting with a representative of the U.S. administration planned in Moscow at the Kremlin in the coming weeks?
No, there are no such plans. President of Finland Alexander Stubb did indeed make those statements. They provoke nothing but surprise, given that just several weeks earlier, the Finnish president spoke about the need to restore relations with Russia sooner or later. He said it would be better to do so sooner rather than later. But we can now see that such escalatory rhetoric has prevailed. Mr. Stubb is also a prominent representative of the Party of War, alongside the British Prime Minister Andy Burnham. Over the past several days, they have distinguished themselves with such belligerent statements. They want the war to continue. They are deceiving their voters by saying that Russia can be defeated. This is a grave deception. They apparently refuse to acknowledge the realities on the ground. This is a very important issue and a very important subject. This is not the first time there has been talk of deploying military contingents from NATO member states on Ukrainian territory. The caveat is that this will happen after the conflict ends, but we have repeatedly stated at various levels that the deployment of foreign military contingents from NATO member states is unacceptable to us.
President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said that one possible option for reaching a settlement and ending hostilities would be to establish a buffer-free economic zone in Donbas under the control of a third party. According to him, this option is currently being discussed with the United States, Europe and Ukraine. He also said Kyiv would be prepared to discuss a mutual moratorium on strikes against energy infrastructure. How would you comment on the Ukrainian president's remarks?
Well, naturally, it is not customary to publicly discuss the various details that may feature in proposals concerning different modalities of the peace process. Therefore, I would not like to do so. The only thing I would say in this context is that Donbas is territory of the Russian Federation. These are constituent entities of the Russian Federation. That is the only immediate remark I would like to make. And it is unlikely that any third party could administer regions of the Russian Federation. We are not merely counting on this victory. We are certain it will come. The means by which it is achieved will depend on the current situation. Russia remains open to peaceful means of settlement, but in the absence of such options, we are continuing the special military operation. There are certainly plans to strengthen our own security. We are facing an evident threat of drone attacks against facilities and critical infrastructure, as well as sites that are, shall we say, critical to the functioning of our country's economy and social sector. Business owners often fail to devote sufficient attention to security measures and counter-drone protection. Given the policy pursued by Western countries, we have just spoken about statements by Stubb and successive statements by British Prime Ministers. This shows that such a belligerent and aggressive policy towards our country is continuing. Accordingly, we must take measures and ensure our own security. In the context of this presidential decree, I would like to draw your attention to the statement by Russian First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov, who provided a comprehensive explanation on the matter.
Ukrainians are proud of themselves, but without fanfare, they celebrate modestly and greet one another, knowing the true value of independence. Our eyes are filled with both tears and hope as we feel the pain, yet we are learning to be stronger than all the evil they inflict. We are all tired, but we do not complain for long. Ukraine certainly wants peace very much, but will not just give in. We will not let them take the initiative or deceive Europe and the whole world into thinking that we should simply give up the Donbas and everything will be over quickly. We have no illusions. We do not trust them. We will not save the Kremlin 500,000 soldiers. Russia is constantly postponing the dates when they are about to and certain to take the whole of Donetsk region. It will continue to do so. Ukraine is different and will not give up what is hers. Russia does not want peace. It wants mobilization. Well then, let's keep a cool head about it. Let us take action. We must strengthen our armed forces and ensure we have everything we need to hold our defenses. Our soldiers must be supplied and equipped with everything necessary to turn the enemy's reinforcements into fertilizer for our land. Putin hopes that we have become tired. We know that he is mortal. He has never understood us. Now it is too late for him to do so. You wanted to take all of Ukraine, all our land, but instead you have lost your oil refineries, your navy, your profits, and an entire generation, which you sent into the meat grinder. You wanted us to disappear from the map. Now you are absent from the international agenda of the future civilization. For 27 years, Russia's head has been talking about greatness, whilst Russia stands in queues for petrol. We must stand united and put the pressure on them. Ukraine, Europe, America, the world. I am glad that the U.S. has shed all illusions about whether Russia really wants to end this war. I believe that America will overcome all its contradictions and phobias regarding Russia. We must bring the Russians to the negotiating table. Sanctions are finally needed, ones that will make them cry out in pain. Ukraine must be given everything that will force them to end the war. And this is possible. We are not asking to fight for us. Give Ukraine everything it needs to stop this war, to stop it before Putin has time to launch the next one. To prevent this from happening, we must act together. Europe should be Europe, united, ambitious, and bold. China should no longer remain silent. When someone dresses up in a sailor's uniform and a cap and, with poor pronunciation of certain words, talks of a nuclear strike, China must respond. It has to calm the situation down. China must demonstrate its ambition to be one of the world's leaders, not only economically and technologically, but also in terms of civilization.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.